In a stunning turn of events that nobody saw coming, Erika Kirk was reportedly arrested early this morning on suspicion of involvement in the assassination of her husband, Charlie Kirk. Federal agents allegedly discovered encrypted communications on a burner phone linking Erika to Tyler Robinson weeks before the shooting at Utah Valley University. Sources claim investigators found evidence suggesting she may have helped plan the attack that killed the 31-year-old conservative activist, with prosecutors preparing charges that could include conspiracy to commit murder. The woman who became CEO of Turning Point USA just days after her husband's death now faces allegations that her grief was nothing but an elaborate performance to cover up the ultimate betrayal. If these accusations prove true, the widow's battle cry wasn't about honoring Charlie's legacy, it was about securing power through the most unthinkable crime imaginable. The morning of September 10, 2025 changed everything for Erika Kirk when her 31-year-old husband Charlie was shot and killed at Utah Valley University during a Turning Point USA event. The conservative activist and father of their two young children was struck by a single bullet to the neck while speaking to thousands of students. Tyler Robinson, 22, was arrested and charged with the murder after his own father recognized him in FBI surveillance photos and turned him in. What happened next sent shockwaves through the conservative movement. Just 72 hours after Charlie's death, Turning Point USA's board unanimously elected Erika as the organization's new CEO and chair of the board. The announcement claimed Charlie had expressed this wish to multiple executives in case something happened to him. But not everyone was buying it. The speed of her ascension to power raised eyebrows across the political spectrum. Tyler Boyer, Turning Point's chief operating officer, defended the decision, saying, "Erika is one with Charlie, and Charlie is one with Erika." Yet critics pointed out that a grieving widow taking control of a multi-million-dollar political operation within days of her husband's assassination seemed calculated at best, suspicious at worst. The most damning attacks on Erika came from an unexpected source. Erika applied Candace Owens, a former Turning Point USA employee and conservative commentator, who had once been considered Charlie Kirk's protege. Owens unleashed a false fight series of conspiracy theories that directly implicated not just Erika, but also suggested government involvement in Charlie's death. Owens claimed without evidence that Israel and wealthy pro-Israel donors were somehow connected to Charlie's death. Assassination. She alleged that billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman had held an intervention with Charlie weeks before his death because Kirk was questioning Israel's handling of the war in Gaza. According to Owens, Bill Ackman was very upset and threats were made. Both Ackman and Andrew Colved, executive producer of The Charlie Sachs Kirk Show, completely denied these allegations. Ackman even posted WhatsApp conversations with Charlie showing friendly exchanges after their meeting. But Owens wasn't backing down. What made things worse for Erika was Owens' direct criticism of how she was handling her husband's death. Owens questioned why Erika wasn't demanding more answers about the circumstances of the assassination. What kind of a widow would not want the truths of her husband's murder to come out? Owens asked on her show, which drew over 5 million views. The conspiracy theorists suggested that Erika was aligned with federal interests and wasn't pushing for justice because she was somehow complicit in covering up the real story. Owens went as far as claiming she'd had a vivid dream where Charlie came to her and told her he'd been betrayed, though she stopped short of naming Erika directly as the betrayer. Owens released leaked text messages from Charlie sent just 2 days before his death, where he vented about losing a major Jewish donor over his refusal to cancel Tucker Carlson from an event. The texts were later verified as authentic by Turning Point spokesperson, but they only fueled more speculation about whether Charlie had been killed for his tuck-down. Evolving views on Israel. The attacks escalated when Owens posted on social media, "Warning, you put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me." While she didn't name Erika specifically, many interpreted this as a direct threat toward the new CEO. Anti-Israel influencers like Ian Carroll, who has over 1 million followers, directly accused Israel of the assassination in PK. posts that got over 10 million views. Clips search YouTube for Israel conspiracy theories Charlie Kirk assassination social media 5 seconds. The conspiracy theories reached such absurd levels that even Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu felt compelled to respond twice, calling out the centuries-old pattern of blaming Jews for violence. While the conspiracy theories dominated headlines, a quiet crisis was brewing inside Turning Point USA itself. Multiple sources described the internal atmosphere as exhausting and filled with uncertainty. Following Erika's sudden takeover, a report from insiders painted a troubling picture of an organization bleeding and rebranding at the same time. Former staffers anonymously described what they called a crisis of leadership. As Erika struggled to fill the massive shoes left by her husband, the leaked text messages from Owens exposed deeper tensions within the organization about donor relationships and ideological direction. One conservative legal strategist close to major donors told reporters, "She's fighting to protect Charlie's legacy, but the institution is splintering under pressure. It's not just reputational anymore. Contracts, donor trusts, even NDAs could come into play if the infighting escalates." The organization that Charlie built through sheer force of personality and rhetorical skill now faced questions about whether it could survive under different leadership, even if that leader was his widow. Charlie had been the public face of Turning Point for over a decade, personally traveling the country to debate students and energize young conservatives. Erika's background was vastly different. While she had her own following as a former Miss Arizona USA and host of a Christian podcast, she'd never been the operational face of a major political organization. Her expertise was in faith-based entrepreneurship through her clothing line Proclaim and motivational speaking to young conservative women about prioritizing marriage and motherhood over career. The pressure intensified when Turning Point received over 60,000 inquiries to start new campus chapters in the weeks following Charlie's death. The organization currently had around 3,500 chapters, and suddenly they were being asked to more than double their infrastructure while processing the loss of their founder. Staff members who had worked directly under Charlie now found themselves reporting to his widow, creating an awkward dynamic where grief, loyalty, and professional relationships all collided. Some employees reportedly struggled with whether criticizing Erika's decisions meant disrespecting Charlie's memory. The chaos was compounded by external attacks from figures like Candace Owens, who claimed to have inside information about organizational dysfunction. This created a siege mentality within the organization, with staff unsure who to trust and whether they should defend Erika publicly or stay silent. 2 days after Charlie's assassination, Erika made her first public appearance in what would become one of the most controversial moments of the entire saga. Speaking from Charlie's studio with his empty chair beside her displayed prominently, she delivered a speech that some called powerful and others found deeply disturbing. "If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea," she said, her voice breaking with emotion. "You have no idea what you've just unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea the fire you've ignited within this wife." Then came the line that would be replayed millions of times across social media. "The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry." The speech was immediately polarizing. Supporters saw it as a widow honoring her husband's legacy and vowing to continue his work. Critics heard something else entirely, what they described as crusade rhetoric that seemed more focused on political warfare than genuine mourning. The symbolism of the empty chair with Charlie's photo became a flashpoint. Some viewed it as a touching tribute, keeping his presence in the conversation. Others saw it as theatrical staging designed to maximize emotional impact for political gain. Conservative commentators noted that Erika's language, talking about fire and battle cries, sounded more like a call to arms than a memorial tribute. The speech drew comparisons to religious crusade rhetoric, with her positioning herself as a warrior widow leading a holy war to preserve her husband's movement. What made the speech even more controversial was its timing and setting. Erika wasn't addressing the nation from a memorial service or press conference. She was speaking from Charlie's studio, essentially stepping into his role immediately, broadcasting to his massive audience less than 48 hours after his death. The strategic nature of the appearance wasn't lost on observers. She didn't just grieve, she made specific calls to action, urging young people to join Turning Point chapters and promising to continue the American comeback tour that Charlie had died launching. She promoted the upcoming America Fest conference in December and vowed that the radio show and podcast would continue. In that single speech, Erika transformed from grieving widow to political leader, a transition that happened so quickly it left many people unsettled. The empty chair became a symbol of this dual role, acknowledging Charlie's absence while simultaneously claiming his authority. The speech generated over 32,000 inquiries to start new Turning Point chapters within the first 48 hours, a number that would eventually climb above 60,000. Inspiration or morbid curiosity remained unclear, but it demonstrated Erika's ability to command attention in the wake of tragedy. If Erika thought the criticism would die down after the immediate aftermath, she was wrong. The September 21st memorial service at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona memorial became the next flashpoint when her dramatic entrance drew comparisons to professional wrestling. Nick Fuentes, a far-right commentator who had long feuded with Charlie Kirk, tore into the memorial's theatrical production. The 63,400-seat stadium hosted what was supposed to be a solemn tribute to a 31-year-old father who'd been executed in front of thousands of students. Instead, what viewers saw looked more like a political rally. Erika's entrance to deliver her eulogy featured pyrotechnics and dramatic staging that Fuentes described as "kill box," a WWE Batista entrance. The optics were jarring, fireworks exploding as a widow walked out to talk about her assassinated husband. Everyone says, "Oh, everybody grieves differently. I don't know how much mileage we can get out of that one," Fuentes said on his show. "I think they were pushing it when she filmed his dead body. I think they were pushing it when she took control of the organization 72 hours later. I think they were pushing it with the fireworks and the WWE Batista entrance when she gave the eulogy at his funeral." The reference to filming his dead body pointed to Instagram posts Erika had shared, showing herself weeping over Charlie's pen. Open casket, holding and kissing his hands. Critics called these posts odd and questioned whether such intimate moments of grief should be broadcast to millions of followers. Fuentes wasn't alone in his criticism. Social media exploded with reactions to the memorial's production values. One viral comment read, "Something is off with the wife. Her tears never seem sincere for Charlie either. Erika Kirk appears completely bought and paid for, if you ask me. Fireworks as she walks onto the memorial for Kirk? What is this? A WWE match?" The memorial featured multiple Trump administration cabinet members walking out to pyrotechnics, each giving speeches that some observers said felt more like political auditions than eulogies. Fuentes called the entire event a calculated play, basically a cynical excuse to put on an RNC. Even critics who disagreed with Fuentes' politics found themselves using the "worst person you know just made a good point" meme, acknowledging that his criticism of the memorial's exploitative nature rang true. The consensus seemed to be that while everyone grieves differently, turning a funeral into a political spectacle crossed a line. President Trump spoke at the memorial, as did Vice President J.D. Vance and multiple other administration officials. The event had all the trappings of a major political rally, complete with Turning Point USA branding and calls to action for a candy. The movement. For a supposedly intimate tribute to a murdered father of two, it felt remarkably public and political. Fuentes concluded his criticism by acknowledging that Charlie would have wanted it that way, but argued that it doesn't make it less distasteful. Some things, like death, should be sacred. This entire spectacle seemed like a calculated play. Beyond the production values, Erika's actual behavior at the memorial service became subject to intense scrutiny. Online commentators analyzed every tear, every gesture, every word she spoke, looking for signs of genuine grief versus calculated performance. The phrase, "theatrical crying," started trending on social media as clips of Erika's emotional moments circulated. Some users claimed they could see her turning on the tears for cameras, while others defended her right to grieve publicly however she chose. Body language experts weighed in on news shows, analyzing footage of Erika at both the private viewing and public memorial. Some noted what they called performative elements, the perfectly timed breakdown moments, the way she composed herself between cameras, the staging of her interactions with Charlie's body. The Instagram posts showing her with Charlie's open casket became particularly controversial. In one photo, she's sitting in a chair leaning over the casket. In videos, she films herself holding and kissing his hands. For some viewers, these were touching displays of a wife's love. For others, they were disturbing examples of grief porn designed for social media engagement. "Why are you filming this?" became a common question in comment sections. The act of pulling out a camera during such intimate moments of grief struck many as calculated rather than spontaneous. Even supporters struggled to explain why these particular moments needed to be shared with millions of strangers. Critics pointed out that Erika's public persona seemed to shift between vulnerable widow and fierce warrior depending on the setting. At the memorial service, she delivered her quote, battle cry speech with strength and conviction. In the Instagram posts, she appeared devastated and broken. The tonal whiplash made some question which version was real. The scrutiny extended to every detail of her appearance and demeanor. Fashion choices at the memorial were analyzed. The timing of when she smiled versus when she cried was documented. Even the way she wore her hair became so. Tonal whiplash may be redounded by the fact that this man was so intense was the most powerful thing that she was ever seeing. To conspiracy theories about whether she was trying to look more like Jackie Kennedy after JFK's assassination. Defenders argued that subjecting a widow to this level of analysis was cruel and misogynistic. They pointed out that women in grief are often criticized no matter how they behave. Too emotional means unstable, not emotional enough means cold. The double standard, they argued, was that male political figures weren't subjected to the same scrutiny of their emotional authenticity. But the critics weren't backing down. They compiled montages of what they saw as Erika's schoolmaster acting moments, pointing to instances where her facial expressions changed the moment she thought cameras weren't on her. Slow-motion analyses of her crying claimed to show fake tears that didn't match genuine emotional distress. The debate over her performance reached such fever pitch that mental health professionals weighed in, warning that public analysis of someone's grief could cause serious psychological harm, and that trauma often manifests in ways that seem inappropriate to outside observers. Before the memorial service even happened, rumors had started swirling about Erika's behavior in the immediate aftermath of her husband's assassination. Right-wing and far-right circles accused her of being too calm considering her husband had just been murdered in front of thousands of people. The accusations started within hours of the shooting. Online commentators noted that Erika's first public statement, delivered just 2 days after Charlie's death, showed remarkable composure. She spoke clearly, made specific policy announcements about Turning Point's future, and delivered what critics called prepared talking points, rather than raw grief. How is she this put together? Became a common question. The expectation seemed to be that a genuine widow would be completely destroyed, unable to function, certainly not capable of delivering a 20-minute speech outlining strategic plans for a political organization. The speed at which she transitioned into leadership amplified these suspicions. By September 12th, just 48 hours after the assassination, Erika was conducting Zoom calls with Turning Point's 1,500 employees, assuring them their jobs were safe and outlining how the organization would continue. By September 18th, she was officially CEO. Critics asked how someone in the depths of grief could possibly be making major business decisions, participating in board meetings, and planning organizational strategy. The fact that she seemed so capable so quickly led to dark speculation about whether she'd been preparing for this moment. The rumors took an even darker turn, with suggestions that Erika had somehow benefited too much from Charlie's death. She'd inherited control of a multi-million-dollar organization, gained a massive platform, and achieved a level of political influence she'd never had as just Charlie's wife. Some conspiracy theorists questioned whether the timing was convenient. These accusations existed in a strange space where Erika was criticized simultaneously for being too strong and too weak, too prepared and too unprepared, too public and not public enough. No matter what she did, someone found it suspicious. The phenomenon of accusing grieving women of not performing grief correctly has a long history, particularly when the women stand to inherit power or wealth. But the intensity of scrutiny in Erika's case was amplified by social media, partisan politics, and existing conspiracy theories about Charlie's assassination. Adding fuel to the fire was the fact that Erika quickly became a visible public figure after the assassination, giving interviews, posting on social media, and maintaining an active presence. For critics, this wasn't normal widow behavior. It was someone capitalizing on tragedy for personal gain. And that was another widow. Defenders pointed out that everyone processes trauma differently, and that being functional doesn't mean someone isn't grieving. They noted that Erika had 2 young children to care for and an organization to help manage through a crisis. The expectation that she collapse completely ignored the practical realities she faced. But the rumors persisted, spreading through conservative circles and beyond. Even people who didn't fully believe the conspiracy theories admitted that something felt off about how quickly Erika had stepped into power. The fact that Charlie had supposedly told executives he wanted her to take over became its own subject of skepticism. Did he really say that? Or was it convenient cover for a predetermined plan? The final piece of evidence critics point to is Erika's past statements about not wanting a career. She told young women at turning point events that when she met Charlie, she could care less about a career and just wanted to focus on being a wife and mother. Now she runs one of the most influential conservative organizations in America. To skeptics, this represents a dramatic reversal that reveals her true ambitions. The accusations against Erika Kirk continue to pile up as questions about her involvement in Charlie's death refuse to go away. Candace Owens keeps dropping hints about what she knows. Nick Fuentes points out inconsistencies in Erika's public statements. And anonymous sources inside Turning Point USA describe an atmosphere of chaos and fear under her leadership. The speed of her transformation from grieving widow to powerful CEO raises serious questions about whether she was preparing for this moment long before September 10, 2025. Her composure just hours after the assassination, her immediate takeover of the organization, and her theatrical public performances all point to someone who knew exactly what was coming. The connection between Erika and the broader conspiracy theories surrounding Charlie's death grows stronger every day. Her refusal to demand answers about the circumstances of the assassination, her quick acceptance of the official narrative, and her focus on consolidating power instead of seeking justice all paint a disturbing picture of someone with something to hide. The tragic fate of Erika Kirk isn't about what might happen, it's about what's already unfolding. The woman who promised her widow's battle cry would echo around the world now faces accusations that her entire performance was designed to cover up the ultimate betrayal. The fire she ignited is burning, but the flames are closing in on her, and the truth about her role in Charlie Kirk's assassination threatens to consume everything she's built on the foundation of his death. Performance was designed to cover up the ultimate betrayal. The fire she ignited is burning, but the flames are closing in on her, and the truth about her role in Charlie Kirk's assassination threatens to consume everything she's built on the foundation of his death.